helps if I undo the pin. There we go.
Hi there, girl. Hi there.
Good job. Good girl. Thank you. Much appreciated. Do you want a treat? Your ears are in the way. Can you come be on camera? Nope. I'm here with Ethel, as you can see. I'm just gonna tell you guys kind of what has happened the last few days with Ethel. And she's here, she's back. She was off the ranch for about 48 hours. Do you want a treat, baby? You want a treat? Can you come over here? Maybe. So Sunday, emu problems. So Sunday morning, Jeff checked her and said that Ethel was showing signs of distress. She's in her foaling window, so I've been checking her a couple times a day and thought that like we were making some progress. And hey, no, Forrest, go. New location where the emus can't get me, can't get the camera. So it's Thursday about noon, and Ethel's back. But Sunday she started exhibiting signs that she was uncomfortable, and all signs kind of pointed to foaling. So she was rolling a lot, she was up and down a lot, she was laying on her side with like her head stretched out, all like foaling signs, also signs of colic. So it's kind of hard to tell the difference in all honesty, and like I've never foaled a horse or a mini donkey. So kept checking her, like just was spending a lot of time with her. She was obviously very uncomfortable. Called a friend who was a vet. He said, I can't really help you, but he gave me recommendations for somebody else that also has mini donkeys and has foaled a lot of mini donkeys. She came out and looked. Ethel had some discharge. All signs were really pointing towards foaling. And then, so that was like early Sunday morning. By like 2 o'clock, she kind of like settled down and quit rolling. She was a little shaky. She was also dehydrated. Her saliva was pretty tacky, but she did kind of start to eat some hay a little bit. She was standing in the hay. I gave her some grain that night. And with like the discharge and stuff, we're like, okay, yeah, no, foaling, definitely. And like very normal signs, like 48 hours in advance of foaling. So gave her a little bit of grain, put her in the stall so that donkeys usually foal at night. So if she did foal, the emus weren't gonna, be super helpful, and wanted her in the stall. So she ate grain, which was great. She drank some water. So I was like, great, not colic. So Monday, she was fine. She was uncomfortable, you could tell, but you guys have seen the videos of her. She's 8 miles wide. So, I also took her temperature on Sunday, and she had a normal temperature. They can sometimes run a fever when they're colicking, but it's not not always a sure sign of colic. So Monday was fine. Obviously didn't have a foal Monday morning. Tuesday morning, can you get it? Oh, you bit it in half. Good job. Tuesday morning, I woke up about 5 a.m., pulled up the cameras, and could see on the camera that she looked like she was in labor. She was, again, laying down. It looked like she was pushing. I mean, I'm looking off of the webcam, and I can zoom. And so I was like, I'm trying to see through like the slats and stuff, but like I could see. About like 5:45 or something, I could see a water bag. I didn't want to come out right away and like bother her. Usually donkeys foal pretty quickly, so I just kind of wanted to leave her alone. And like they're usually super easy foalers, so I just kind of wanted to leave her alone. Kept observing her on the camera. I did then come out and check her, and again, still kind of just like watched her for a little bit. And I was like, yeah, no, she's in labor, and water bag is out, and you know, she's laying down, and she was obviously pushing, and I kind of just stayed away. I actually like have a hallway over there that I can kind of like peek over, and waited a little bit before I actually like came in the stall with her, and eventually came in the stall. Little bit of water bag was out, but nothing else. Could see that she was contracting, so that was good. You know, kind of just like, all right, we'll give you a little bit more time, but like water bag is out, so clock is ticking. Continued to observe her for probably, I don't know, hour and a half or so, and she wasn't making any progress. And it actually kind of seemed that contractions were becoming more irregular, and she was going longer periods of time without contractions, whereas before they were very obviously happening close together, as you would hope. So I then palpated her, and I couldn't feel anything. You know, if I had seen a foot or something, like I was like, that's where I was pointing. I was getting nervous. I was like, I'm not seeing anything. There is nothing presenting other than water bag. And do you want more? You can't have a ton of these, but you can have one more. Okay. So dainty. So I did palpate her, and I could feel nothing. And, you know, she's a mini, and there's not much room in there, but I could not feel a foot, a nose. I couldn't feel anything. And I've never palpated a mini donkey, so did I go far enough? Probably not. But for as long as she'd been in labor, I should have been able to feel something. I then started making some phone calls to vets here in town, and talked to a couple local vets with clinics and stuff, vet clinics, and they both said, we can see her, but we're not the place you need to be. So got a recommendation for 88 Equine out of Buffalo, Wyoming. It's actually between Gillette and Buffalo, on this side of Buffalo, like halfway in between. So called and left a voicemail for Dr. Dallas Shaw, explained what was happening, you know, water bag out, no progress, can't feel anything. She called me back a couple minutes later. I'd asked Jeff to go hook up a trailer, because we were going somewhere. I knew that at that point. Jeff went to go hook up the trailer. I was getting halter and everything on her. Dr. Shaw called me back, and she said, you need to get her here immediately. And I said, we are on our way. So we drove. I'm glad I didn't get a ticket. So thank you, Wyoming Highway Patrol, for not pulling me over. I didn't see any highway patrol. But arrived at the clinic. Dr. Shaw dropped everything, and she was with other clients at the time. And we brought her into the clinic, and she palpated her, and she could feel the foal, which is great. She knew what she was doing, whereas I did not. And there were no legs presenting. So both front legs were tucked back underneath the foal. And they should come just like calves do. They should come in like a diving position. And she felt no signs of life. You can tell if, a calf or a foal is alive when you palpate them and when you feel their mouth. I had known that was very much a possibility, but, you're still always hopeful. So at that point, obviously we have to get the foal out. Did you find that piece? Do you want me to get it for you? Here, can I help you? So she got the legs untucked, which was great. And the problem then became the head. And I'm not going to go into like a ton of detail about everything that happened, but if you do not like hearing about this type of thing, maybe fast forward a couple minutes. The problem became that because the foal was not alive, the head was not in the correct position, and the foal would not hold its head in the right position because it couldn't. So it was actually continuously flopping to the side and actually like turning so that the chin was actually facing up. And because she's a mini, there's not a lot of room in there. And so there was not enough room to like hold the head and pull and get that head through the birth canal. And so with it twisting, it kept hitting the pelvic bone. Dr. Shaw worked for over 2 hours trying to get the foal out. She tried everything. She tried every tool she had, every idea she had. She administered, right away she got a sedative, not to like knock her out. She was still standing during all of this, but to relax her. She also got a muscle relaxer. She got 2 epidurals, so she would quit pushing because they do that when you palpate, they will push back. And so lots of medication to keep her comfortable so we could try and get the foal out. So yeah, Dr. Shaw worked for over 2 hours. Her vet tech, her assistants, Jeff and I were there, so we were helping to hold Ethel and to comfort Ethel and to keep her in one spot. She couldn't get the foal out, despite using every single trick in the book that there is to get a foal out. So then came the time that, we had to make a decision. I had to make a decision, and at that point, I was like, "What are our options?" Because she just said, "I can't get it out." And the options were to put her down, or to C-section her. She explained the risk of C-section pretty much like right away for me. That it's not, she could do it. Not something she wanted to do, as soon as we walked in and she saw presentation, she felt presentation, she said, I'm gonna do everything I can to not have to do a C-section, but it may come to that. I made the decision to C-section Ethel to get the foal out. That was a really hard decision. I didn't want to put her down. That wasn't, I thought about it just because I don't want her, I didn't want her to suffer. Obviously, like that's always the first concern. But I asked, again, more questions about C-section and, cost. That is, it doesn't come cheap. And she explained everything to me, and, I made the decision to C-section her. She's obviously okay. I got shavings. That was a really hard choice because I knew, like, there was no good choice. I knew that she would maybe not make it through that surgery. As there's always a risk of surgery with animals, people, you guys know. So that was really hard. I said goodbye, and we came back to the ranch, went to work, and waited for a phone call, because that's what you do. There were things to be done. There were other animals that needed stuff. And so, yeah. Got the phone call a few hours later that she made it through surgery. Oh, also, Dr. Shaw consulted with another vet. He stopped his practice, and he came to assist. So, she's like, she's going to be okay. Like, she said 2 vets, a vet tech, assistants. Like, she was confident that, she could do it. Understandably that there was risk. So got the call that she was okay, which was such a relief. it was, she said it was a very unremarkable surgery, which is great. Obviously, surgery isn't what we wanted, but it went really well. So that was good. It had been, like, Ethel was awake at that point, so it had been a little bit post-surgery. And, she said she's not up yet. So that was kind of she's like, she's got about another hour, and then, we're going to get her up. So donkeys, horses, cows, they have to be up. She ended up standing her up, and then Ethel did start eating and drinking, and, I got pictures of her eating some grain, which was great. And she was dehydrated, and so they gave her some IV fluids, IV antibiotics. That was Tuesday, Tuesday afternoon she was done with surgery and everything. I knew they were going to keep her at least Tuesday night, and when I talked to Dr. Shaw right before closing time, she said, I think I need to keep her at least, another night, Tuesday night and Wednesday night, just to observe her. She was a bit shocky coming out of surgery, and dehydrated. What are you doing? You can drink that. What is she doing? I got updates yesterday. She was doing well. Again, they wanted to keep fluids, and she was eating and drinking and everything, so that's great. They told me I could come pick her up this morning. They wanted to do one more round of antibiotics and one more bag of fluid. Unfortunately, I don't have a donkey foal, and I guess it's just not going to happen for me and Ethel to have a baby donkey to play with. So that is, that's not the circumstances and the situation that I wanted to happen. I am extremely grateful that Ethel's still here. Did you finally get a drink? This stubborn little donkey has just completely just wormed her way into my heart. Why are you licking the bucket? So yeah, Tuesday was a really hard day. I will not be breeding her again. I didn't even ask if I could. I don't know if you can. I'm not going to put her through that. We're just not going to do that. So I don't know that you can. Like I said, I didn't even ask. So Ethel's gonna, she already is a pet. She's just gonna continue to be a pet. I'm gonna need to find her a friend. Do you want this? Come over here. Come show the people. Come show them your pretty face. That's the last one, okay? So yeah, she's gonna need a friend. Donkeys do better in pairs. Gus was with her until Sunday. She can't be with Gus anymore because he's an intact male. So I am at some point, not right now, I'm not rushing into it or anything, going to want to find another donkey for her to have as a friend. So rather unfortunate situation that happened this week. Tuesday was a long day, and I'm glad we're through it. She's still not completely out of the woods. Obviously, infection is always a possibility anytime you have surgery. So I do have some oral antibiotics that I have to administer twice a day for the next few days. And they actually dissolve in water, they're pills. But I will be dissolving those in water and syringe shooting them into her mouth. Hopefully that goes well. We'll see. She's going to stay in a stall for a while, and she's going to get some treats and a little bit of grain, not much, because I don't want her to put on a ton of weight, but she's going to get spoiled and pampered here for the next few days. It's hot this week. It's like 100 degrees every day. So we do have a fan set up. I turned it off so you could hear me during this because it's very loud. So we're going to make her as comfortable as possible. Going to check on her a ton and just make sure she's doing okay. Obviously eating, drinking, and not showing any signs of infection or fever or anything like that. So I'm very glad she's back. Very glad. So come say hi. So yeah, she's about to be the most spoiled mini donkey ever. So, but yeah, no foal from Ethel, but she's still here. So I'm thankful for that. It could have gone very differently. So I am working on a haying video Jeff and I are cutting hay. I had like part of a video filmed and stuff just kept happening. So that, I promise, will be the next content. We'll be haying. Yeah, so I'm gonna like go do those things. Farm store is open. Yeah, it's haying time. So she's gonna get checked on about 9 million times a day. So can keep an eye on her and spoil her and give her lots of love. So yeah, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day. I need a thumbnail. Come here. Hey, want another treat? Come here. Wants nothing to do with me.